Lesson 19. Habits make me.
Warm-up dialogue. Easier said than done.
Ms. Roberts, may I talk to you for a few minutes?
Of course. What's up?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just very confused, I guess.
What about?
Oh, just growing up. Things don't seem to be as clear as they used to be. My feelings about life are in a swirl, but I want to grow up to be a responsible adult. Can you help me?
It's hard for girls your age, and boys too, of course. I went through it myself. Your body is changing in all kinds of ways. The hormone balance is adjusting. Voices change, looks change. Kids are becoming adults, but they are still kids in many ways. It can be very strange.
But what can I do?
A lot of life is just routine. We put one step in front of the other, then repeat and repeat and repeat. But it's important to be consistently walking in the right direction, or we'll just go around in circles.
Going in circles? That's the way I feel these days.
Of course, but you just need to develop good habits. Decide what you want to do, no matter how important or trivial it seems. And then think about how to get there and consciously work toward that goal. Before you know it, you won't even think about it anymore, but you'll still be going in the right direction, just like being on autopilot.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean?
Okay, let's say you want to get more exercise, but somehow something always happens to interfere with your program.
How did you know?
Like I said, I've gone through it.
So what did you do?
I made myself a schedule. As soon as I got home from school, I immediately changed clothes and took a walk. I made sure that I kept it up for at least a half hour. No matter what, I kept to my schedule. If a friend called, I'd say I'd call her back later. If it was raining, I'd take an umbrella. I was very single-minded about it. But in about a month, it was second nature to me. Then if I had to miss my walk for some reason, I really felt like I was in withdrawal. I've done that for 15 years now, hardly ever missing a day. It's become a habitual part of my life.
Wow, it sounds so easy.
It wasn't always easy, but I kept at it. And it was only hard for a very short time, and then it just became natural. You can reach any goal that way.
That's very inspirational.
The other side of the coin is that bad habits keep you from achieving your goals.
Yes, I certainly have a lot of those.
So you need to deprogram those habits. Just beware of doing the things you don't want to do and substitute something else. If you smoke and want to quit, chew some gum every time you reach for a pack of cigarettes. Instead of candy, eat an apple. Just be consistent and you'll be all right. Questions. 1. Is our life ruled by habit? 2. What's the secret to building good exercise habits? 3. Apply the habit method to some other goal and describe it. Pictures talk.
One. Question number 1. Do you get up early in the morning by yourself, or does someone need to wake you up? Question number 2. Who gets you up? Is it easy or hard to get you out of bed? Question number 3. What time do you usually go to bed? When do you get up?
2. Question number 1. Do you brush your teeth immediately after every meal? Question number 2. Do you brush your teeth before you go to bed? Question number 3. Do you take your toothbrush to school?
3. Question number 1. How often do you wash your hands? Question number 2. Why is washing one's hands so important? Question number 3. Describe in detail how you wash your hands.
4. Question number 1. Do you keep a diary? Why or why not? Question number 2. Is it easy to keep one? What are some of the problems involved in doing so? Question number 3. What do you write about?
5. Question number 1. Do you eat between meals? What do you eat? Question number 2. Why do people snack? Question number 3. What are some of the bad results of eating snacks?
6. Question number 1. Do you always say thanks? Why or why not? Question number 2. Do you always say I'm sorry when you think you are wrong? Question number 3. Do you always say I made a mistake? Do you always mean it when you say it? Answer me. One. Making sure first.
Are you going to watch my team play basketball this weekend? It's the biggest game of the year.
I hope so, but I have to ask my mom.
It's during the daytime, so you won't be out late.
I know, and I really want to go, but I still need permission.
Why? You're not a child. You're old enough to make up your own mind.
I do make my own decisions, but I still have to make sure it's okay. Maybe my family is going somewhere and I might have to go too.
But you're my girlfriend. It's important to me that you come watch me play. That way, I'll compete better.
I'm sure it will be all right, but I can't say for sure right now.
Questions. 1. Do you always ask your parents for permission to do things? 2. What are you able to decide on your own? 3. If you do not agree with your parents' decision, what do you do?
2. Saving the best for last.
Beth, I sure do envy you.
Why?
Because you're always ahead of everybody else in school. You always get the best grades, and you never have to struggle to keep up. I have trouble just getting by.
Don't be too hard on yourself. You're a smart boy.
Then why is schoolwork so hard for me?
Because you always wait until the last minute to get started, and then you have to hurry, and you don't spend as much time on it as you should.
But I don't like to do homework. I hate to study.
Me too, but that's why I do it right away. I always do the things I dislike first. That way I make sure they get done right, so I don't have to do them again. And once I'm finished with them, I can spend the rest of the time enjoying myself, because I don't have to worry about them anymore. Questions. 1. Are you satisfied with your grades? 2. If dissatisfied, what could you do to improve them? 3. What do you think about Beth's philosophy about doing first the things she dislikes the most? 3. To eat or to sleep? That is the question. Dickie, you're getting fat. Your clothes don't fit right anymore.
I know, but I don't know what to do about it. I get plenty of exercise.
I think it's those late-night snacks. You shouldn't eat just before you go to bed. All of those calories just turn to fat.
But by bedtime I'm hungry. If I don't eat something then, I can't sleep.
At least you could eat something healthy, like an apple.
Okay, I'll try. But I sure do like ice cream. Questions. 1. Do you like to eat late at night? Why or why not? 2. If you eat late, what do you prefer to have? 3. What do your parents think about your eating at bedtime? Have they ever said why?
4. Free without a cell phone. I tried calling you all weekend. Where were you?
I went camping with my friends.
Why didn't you answer your phone?
Because I didn't take it with me.
Why not? Were you trying to avoid me?
Of course not. But sometimes I want to be left alone. That way I can reflect on life and what I should do without anybody bothering me on the phone.
I can't imagine not having my phone with me. I need to talk to my friends.
Me too, most of the time. But sometimes I just feel like I'm a slave to my cell phone. If I leave it home, I feel free.
Questions. 1. Do you sometimes have time alone? Why or why not? 2. About what do you think when you are all by yourself? 3. What's the most important thing on your mind these days? Let's talk more.
1. How to succeed. All too many times, we are our own worst enemies. We make up our minds in advance that something is too hard, so we don't waste our energy trying to do the impossible. Then, failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The better approach is to decide that it can be done after all, and then be willing to put in the hard work necessary to make it happen. Sometimes, for a variety of reasons, we will still fail, but we'll succeed a lot more often than if we give up in advance. If you're positive that you can't do something, you won't. But if you're sure you can, you just might. Questions. 1. Do you think you can do anything you put your mind to? 2. What have you failed at in the past? What could you have done differently to accomplish it? 3. Do you believe that a positive attitude always leads to positive results? Or do you think that some things are truly impossible, no matter what you do about it?
2. Everybody likes praise. A good habit to get into is being liberal with your praise. If you tell everyone what a good job he is doing and that you appreciate all his hard work, or that you really like him a great deal because of the kind of person he is, he will want to keep your good opinion of him and work even harder to please you. He will also feel better about himself, and just as importantly, he'll find it easier to tell other people how wonderful you are. Before long, your positive reputation will spread well beyond just the two of you. Questions. 1. Are you in the habit of praising your friends? 2. Do your parents praise you often enough? What do they do when they want you to know they are proud of you? 3. What about your teachers? If they said more good things about you, would your school performance improve?
3. Do you have time? We aren't all born with money or status. We don't all have the same intelligence and skill. But everyone has one thing in common: time. Learn not to waste a minute of it. Idling away our lives is a form of self-poison. This doesn't mean that life is only hard work. Even time spent enjoying oneself is time well spent. but certainly we need to balance enjoyment with self-improvement and with accomplishing necessary things. Just sitting around all the time, daydreaming and thinking about what might have been, won't get you anywhere.
Questions.
1. Do you think you use your time effectively? Why or why not? How could you improve? 2. What is the biggest time waster in your life? 3. What skill takes a lot of time and effort for you to master? Is there anything you can do easily without much effort?
4. Who's in charge? Be patient. Always be patient. Then patiently continue. If you lose your temper every time you are angry, you will always defeat yourself. But if you can count to 10 inside your head before you respond, you will get control of your emotions. Then you can work the situation to your own advantage. Patience will always accomplish more than temper. People may tell you that it is healthy to express your emotions and that suppressing your feelings is bad for your mental health. But you need to take that advice one step further. You certainly should express what you feel, but you need to learn how to do that in a positive way. Be patient. It is not easy to learn how to master your emotions, but life will be a lot harder if you are a slave to them. Questions. 1. Do you think you are patient? Give us some examples of your patience or impatience. 2. What about your parents? Are they patient in the way they relate to you? Give examples of why you think so or don't think so. 3. What about your friends? Who's the most patient, the least? How does that aspect of their personality make their lives easier or more difficult? Real talk. 2 things at once. Henry, put that book away and eat.
Mom, I have a lot of homework tonight. If I don't finish this book, I'll be in a lot of trouble.
Then you should have started reading that book sooner.
I know, but I couldn't. I just didn't have enough time.
I'm sure you'll get it done tonight, but for now I want you to put it down. You can pick it up again after you finish your meal.
But why? I can do 2 things at the same time.
Probably so, but you can't do 2 things well. Please put that book away.
But this way, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
The proverb is that you can't kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, I'll stop reading. There, I hope you're satisfied. But I still don't understand why it's such a big deal. I'm not hurting anybody.
Not directly, maybe, but it's bad manners. We don't spend much time together, but we can at least pay attention to each other at mealtime. That's not too much to ask.
But once in a while, in an emergency, spending time together won't matter.
This isn't an emergency. Besides, lots of studies have shown that being busy while eating is a terrible habit. People who enjoy their meals with other people, who talk and relax are far healthier and much more productive than people who concentrate on work while they eat. So if you're really worried about not having enough time, you'll be better off taking a few minutes off during this meal. And then when you go back to work, you'll be refreshed and energetic. Do you understand?
Yes, Mom.
Questions.
1. What is Henry's problem? 2. What is his mother's problem with Henry? 3. How does he justify his actions? How does she justify hers? Who do you think is right?
Read me. Do we get habits or do habits get us? Old habits die hard. You may wonder why it is that bad habits form easily and refuse to go away. But good habits are hard to create and disappear easily. It is because we readily do the things that are enjoyable and we are reluctant to do the unpleasant but necessary things. We would all rather eat ice cream than broccoli because ice cream tastes better. But then it's easy for us to want to keep eating too much ice cream and to ignore the broccoli altogether. We'd rather watch a good television program or play an exciting computer game than read a difficult book because it's always easier to be passive than to have to actively use our intellect or imagination. We never have to be forced to do what we want to do. Old habits never die, but they do fade away from disuse. Questions. 1. What bad habits do you want to do away with? Why? 2. What good habit would you like to develop? 3. Tell how to build good habits and get rid of bad ones.